The annual Six Nations Rugby Championship is finally underway.
England will take on Italy, Wales hosting Scotland, and Mike is in Cardiff for us this morning. And you had the whole place to yourself earlier on, but I see it's getting relatively busy. We've got the lawn being mown now.
Absolutely, yeah, just like at Centre Court and Wimbledon, they're making sure that the grass is perfect for the pounding that it gets, unlike at Wimbledon, when you have the two of the heavyweights, Wales and Scotland, clashing into each other here at the Principality Stadium on the hallowed turf with the roar of 75,000 fans. So yes, I've got good company now. Talking of company, I'm also in the esteemed company of a Scotland legend, former Scotland captain Andy Nicol, taking it all in. Andy, you were walking down the tunnel and I could see you looking up just as you did when you were here as a player, although don't want to remind everybody, but you never actually won here, did you?
No, I didn't. So, I mean, not great memories, but what a stadium. It's the best rugby stadium in the world, maybe the best sporting stadium that I've certainly been in, and it's the roof's up, we know that now, and it's the atmosphere it generates here, mate, is just unbelievable.
And what is it? Because Scotland haven't won here in 22 years. They did win in Llanelli a few years ago, but they haven't actually won here in Cardiff in this stadium for 22 years.
Well, a big part of that is during those 22 years, Wales have been a very good side. They've won 3 Grand Slams and a championship. But, this team, they won't be bothered too much about that, Mike, because this team have won at Twickenham for the first time in 38 years, won in Paris for the first time in 22 years. So they've got those reference and experience to draw back on. And but the time surely has come this year.
You'd think so. And speaking to the Scotland fans last night in Cardiff, making the most of the atmosphere, they really felt this was the time to end the hoodoo, get the monkey off the back, as they were saying, and the monkey was caught in Scotland, wasn't it? The macaque the other day, because it's an inexperienced Welsh side, whereas Scotland have still retained a lot of the squad after the World Cup.
Yeah, I mean, Scotland, I think, are the better side. So that's where, it's all about now performing. But this is a factor. Cardiff is a factor. The atmosphere is a factor. So Scotland need to make sure that it's not a factor come the last 20 minutes. And Wales will be doing everything to make it a factor. So it's a fascinating duel when you have that. Because there's no doubt, I think this crowd is, 10, 15 points possibly?
Wow, that's incredible, isn't it? So talk about your own memory of coming down the tunnel, what you'd be thinking when you'd heard the Welsh choirs singing, rousing the crowd, getting them into a frenzy. What was going through your mind? How did it feel? You
have to embrace this. You have to enjoy it, and I loved it. The atmosphere and the anthems, it's brilliant. And so every sports psychologist will tell you, rather than go into your shell, you've got to come out and enjoy it, take it all in. So, the crowd is so on you here. You come out the tunnel for the first time. I remember when it first arrived. I played at the Cardiff Arms Park, which was a slightly different angle, and it was open. This, when we first came here, was just incredible. But it's just a wonderful arena to play rugby, and there's a lot of Scots here as well, a lot of fans here. So it's not just the Welsh fans. The Scots fans in a closed roof like this will make an awful lot of noise as well.
Absolutely. You talk about the roof, because there was the usual debate, wasn't there? At first it was suggested that Scotland wanted the roof open, they wanted an open sky, and then rain came into play. So Gregor Townsend said, actually, no, we can close it, which is what Wales wanted anyway. Yeah,
listen, every year it's the circus about, is it roof open, is it roof closed? There's no doubt there's a bigger atmosphere when the roof's closed. So the home team would want that. And obviously the opposition would say, well, why would we give that advantage? So when there's a choice, the opposition are more likely to say, let's have it open. But with the weather conditions as they're going to be, I think Gregor's said, look, Scotland want a dry pitch. Look at the backline they've got. Look at Finn Russell doing Van der Merwe. Scotland are happy to play in this pitch. So we've got to the end outcome, which probably both teams are quite happy with.
Right, absolutely. Now, a lot of the fans last night were watching the epic encounter, some people called it a title decider already, Ireland, the defending champions, in France. What was surprising, that the scoreline wasn't as close as people forecast. Tell us what your thoughts were on that opening fixture.
Well, firstly, I thought Ireland were outstanding, and I thought France were quite poor. Probably as poor as they've been for a long time. I mean, obviously they lost to South Africa in the World Cup, but they played really well. But they didn't last night. There was a red card. Sometimes red cards don't have a big impact. I think that did last night, because a couple of maul tries for Ireland. So Ireland were very, very impressive. And I had that down as a 10-point win for France. I think a lot of people did. And Ireland just proved now they are absolutely in the box seat now to win the championship and maybe even another Grand Slam.
You think so? Who do you think can challenge them the most, would you say?
Well, I mean, the winning away from home is absolutely vital and very difficult in this competition, as it's been proved over many, many years. That fixture's gone with the home team the last 2 years, and that the winning team has won the Grand Slam. So Ireland have bucked that trend. So now they've got to go to Twickenham. Now, going to Twickenham's difficult, although Scotland have made it a wee bit easier in the last few years. So Ireland, for me, now, red-hot favourites.
Yeah. What about England? I mean, they're looking to improve. Fourth place finish last year, second Six Nations under Steve Borthwick, but buoyed no doubt by their performance at the World Cup, you think?
Yeah, they've got to take a lot of confidence from that. I'm really intrigued to see what the game plan they go with today. There's been a lot of talk about it being a bit more expansive, but that's very much against what Steve Borthwick has done in the past. He's picked players in form, the Northampton boys in particular, some new caps in there. So I'm really intrigued to see how it is. We need also a bounce from Italy. Italy had a terrible World Cup. 90 points against New Zealand, 60 against France. So they'll be really keen to turn that around. So that's a fascinating game as well.
Now, just before we move on to the cricket, just let me give you this. This is the Doddy Weir Cup, of course, your great pal and teammate, Doddy Weir, who sadly we lost a couple of years ago, but this is in his memory, raising awareness, as it continues to do so, of motor neurone disease.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a special tournament. It's a special trophy for either captain to win.
And that's it. And it just proves how loved Doddy was. The Welsh guys want to win this, and it's really important to them as well. And I just love it. And I love the significance that and Doddy had a saying in how this was created. And, the handles here are to remember his lugs, his ears. He had big sticky out ears, and this is why it's there. So it's it's a very special trophy for
very fitting. It was created in 2018, wasn't it? Yeah. So we actually did see it being lifted for a few times, which is great. Andy, thanks very much indeed.